All persons having any business before this honourable court now draw nigh and give your attendance, and you shall be heard. God save the Queen.
Admission of lawyers. Kavithra Ananthasevam.
May it please the Court, I move that Kavithra Ananthasevam be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Kavithra Ananthasevam be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Joshua Alan James Anderson.
May it please the Court, I move that Joshua Alan James Anderson be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Joshua Alan James Anderson be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Cheryl Anthony.
May it please the Court, I move that Cheryl Anthony be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Cheryl Anthony be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Matthew Amota.
May it please the Court, I move that Matthew Amota be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Matthew Amota be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Long Feng Chu.
May it please the Court, I move that Long Feng Chu be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Long Feng Chu be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Daniel Edward Corbin.
May it please the Court, I move that Daniel Edward Corbin be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Daniel Edward Corbin be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Taylor Jade Davidson.
May it please the Court, I move that Taylor J. Davidson be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Taylor J. Davidson be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Hao Feng Deng.
May it please the Court, I move that Hao Feng Deng be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Hao Feng Deng be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Alexander Jerrick.
May it please the Court, I move that Alexander Jerrick be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Alexander Jerrick be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Benjamin Henry Graham Futerman.
May it please the Court, I move that Benjamin Henry Graham Futerman be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Benjamin Henry Graham Futerman be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Alexandra Jade Goodman.
May it please the Court, I move that Alexandra Jade Goodman be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Alexandra Jade Goodman be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Gabriella Kate Greenslade.
May it please the Court, I move that Gabriella Kate Greenslade be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Gabriella Kate Greenslade be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
William David Harris.
May it please the Court, I move that William David Harris be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That William David Harris be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kate Nicole Holden.
May it please the Court, I move that Kate Nicole Holden be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Kate Nicole Holden be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jordan Christopher Hunt.
May it please the Court, I move that Jordan Christopher Hunt be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Jordan Christopher Hunt be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Connor James Hurley.
May it please the Court, I move that Connor James Hurley be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Connor James Hurley be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Catherine Long Hewen.
May it please the Court, I move that Catherine Long Hewen be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Catherine Long Hewen be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Saleh Ibrahim.
May it please the Court, I move that Saleh Ibrahim be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Saleh Ibrahim be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Taylor Jones.
May it please the Court, I move that Taylor Jones be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Taylor Jones be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Roy Lee.
May it please the Court, I move that Roy Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Roy Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Joshua Pishoy Malik.
May it please the Court, I move that Joshua Pishoy Malik be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Joshua Pishoy Malik be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Tony Alice Mathers.
May it please the Court, I move that Tony Alice Mathers be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Tony Alice Mathers be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Maxwell Gary McKellar.
May it please the Court, I move that Maxwell Gary McKellar be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Maxwell Gary McKellar be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sarah Annabelle Menzies.
May it please the Court, I move that Sarah Annabelle Menzies be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Sarah Annabelle Menzies be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Anjali Amandia Narajan.
May it please the Court, I move that Anjali Amandia Narajan be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Anjali Amadi Narajan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Alexandra Matilda Nielsen.
May it please the Court, I move that Alexandra Mathilde Nielsen be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Alexandra Mathilde Nielsen be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Maxwell Alastair Padley.
May it please the court, I move that Maxwell Alastair Padley be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Maxwell Alastair Padley be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Allegra Jane Parker.
May it please the court, I move that Allegra Jane Parker be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Allegra Jane Parker be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Olivia Josephine Power.
May it please the court, I move that Olivia Josephine Power be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Olivia Josephine Power be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Nani Rotella.
May it please the court, I move that Nani Rotella be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Nani Rotella be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Emily Rose Shaw.
May it please the court, I move that Emily Rose Shaw be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Emily Rose Shaw be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Raymond Hu Shi.
May it please the court, I move that Raymond Hu Shi be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Raymond Hu Shi be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ayumi Shimada.
May it please the court, I move that Ayumi Shimada be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ayumi Shimada be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Claudine Siu.
May it please the court, I move that Claudine Siu be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Claudine Siu be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Joanna Lisa Smith.
May it please the court, I move that Joanna Lisa Smith be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Joanna Lisa Smith be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Bani Sobti.
May it please the court, I move that Bani Sobti be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Bani Sobti be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kristen James Stanton.
May it please the court, I move that Kristen James Stanton be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Kristen James Stanton be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Wei Fun Si.
May it please the court, I move that Wei Fun Si be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Wei Fun Si be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Mary Stephanie Valtis.
May it please the court, I move that Mary Stephanie Valtis be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Mary Stephanie Valtis be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ashish Mansukh Vasani.
May it please the court, I move that Ashish Mansukh Vasani be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ashish Mansukh Vasani be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
William Joseph Wade.
May it please the court, I move that William Joseph Wade be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let William Joseph Wade be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Luke Barber Norton Wetmore.
May it please the court, I move that Luke Barber Norton Wetmore be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Luke Barber Norton Wetmore be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Colin Ruwei Cheng Yuan.
May it please the court, I move that Colin Ruwei Chang Yuan be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Colin Ruwei Cheng Wan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Yaoshi Zhao.
May it please the court, I move that Yaoshi Zhao be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Yaoshi Zhao be admitted as a lawyer of this court. Thank you, Registrar. Now that the formal moving of lawyers has ended, I'd like to warmly welcome you to this virtual admission ceremony at the Supreme Court of New South Wales. Present with me on the bench today, to my right is Justice Davies, to my left Justice Wilson. Their honours are each members of the Common Law Division of the Court. Together we constitute the court that has, in exercise of its jurisdiction, admitted you to practice. As we gather for this celebration, physically dispersed, I'd like to begin by recognising the various traditional lands on which we meet. This ceremony is streamed from the Banco Court, which is located on the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. I acknowledge these traditional custodians and pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. We recognise the long-standing and enduring customs and traditions of Australia's First Nations and acknowledge with deep regret the role our legal system has had in perpetrating many injustices against Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. To all the new lawyers watching today, welcome to the legal profession. This admission ceremony may be different to what you are expecting. These are challenging times when you are unable to be admitted in person. However, your admission, conducted remotely, reflects the agility and adaptability which you will need to possess as lawyers in an age of great change. This is a time for celebration. You have all worked extremely hard to get to this point, through caffeine-fueled nights and obscure problem questions, reading countless wafer-thin pages of textbook and more cases than you can hope to remember. You've entered the world of eggshell skulls, encountered the mysterious reasonable person, and have understood that the Constitution consists of so much more than just the vibe of the thing. In becoming a lawyer, you have joined a centuries-old profession with ancient origins. The custom of advocates swearing an admissions oath dates back to the 12th century. This court first admitted lawyers to practice in 1824, and by 1830 the names of lawyers were entered onto rolls in this state. You have now become part of this tradition for almost 200 years later. Perhaps for some of you, that is how long it feels like you've been studying. And for many of you, the support of your family and friends during that time has no doubt been invaluable. They have also probably been on the receiving end from time to time of your finely polished skills of argument and persuasion. I do hope you take the time to thank them today. The oath or affirmation you have made before this ceremony is a serious one and deserves solemn regard. Whether you work in private practice, at the bar, in a community legal centre, or an entirely different field, you should be known for your honesty, your integrity, and your commitment to justice. It is an acknowledgement of this weighty responsibility that we observe today's unique formalities, including the moving of lawyers and our somewhat unusual choice of fashion. I recall on one occasion some years ago, a younger member of the audience asked if we were doing Santa photos after the ceremony. I was terribly sorry to disappoint. However, although we mark this occasion with formality and tradition, not everything in the legal profession remains unchanging. You'll be unsurprised to hear that over the past year and a half, we've had to adapt quite a bit, as you can see today. COVID-19 has been a rapid shift to the increased use of virtual courtroom setups and technologies to ensure that access to justice continues in the midst of a pandemic. Things don't always go smoothly, as those of you on the bench can undoubtedly attest to. There have been real difficulties to grapple with in terms of open justice, effective communication and fairness to participants. And occasionally a lawyer might even get stuck behind a Zoom kitten filter. But for all the challenges we are facing, the impetus is greater than ever before for us to promote flexibility and accessibility. Better use of technology and increased working from home arrangements have profound implications for how our legal system interacts with many people, including those in rural and remote areas, those with a disability, medical conditions, or carers' responsibilities. As the newest members of the profession, you are at the forefront of innovation in the law and have a unique opportunity to see through changes so that justice is done openly and equitably. There are, of course, other changes that deserve attention. When we think of the diversity of the legal profession, we encounter the duality that we have come very far and that much still needs to be done. Though women were originally not permitted to practice, since 2018, women have made up more than half of all the solicitors with a practising certificate in New South Wales and currently make up 63% of solicitors under the age of 30. Women occupy many of the most senior positions in the law, including, of course, the Chief Justice of Australia. However, women continue to face challenges of representation, including amongst judges of this court and amongst barristers in speaking roles before the High Court. It is heartening to see, however, that the local court of New South Wales has now almost achieved gender parity, but we must not be complacent about these issues. There are other notable diversity concerns that we must face head on. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples and people from diverse cultural backgrounds continue to be alarmingly underrepresented in the legal profession, and particularly within the judiciary and the ranks of senior counsel. We must also be alert to barriers to the profession from people from less privileged backgrounds. Law should not be a profession for the wealthy, and the idea that students may be dissuaded from studying law by the cost of a law degree, which this year has again increased, or because of other systemic issues, is troubling. Not just this, but we'll only achieve a truly diverse profession when barriers to advancement are broken down and people from different backgrounds are properly supported in a collegiate and inclusive environment free from harassment and discrimination. These issues are fundamental to a just and transparent legal system and to the legitimacy of the rule of law. We need diverse representation amongst advocates and judges so that all people who become involved in our justice system can be properly heard and fairly engaged with by a system reflective of our broader community. Despite these challenges, there is real scope for change. There is far greater diversity of background amongst junior lawyers than those who have been around for as long as me. You are in a unique position as new lawyers who are entering the profession at a time when more than ever your words and actions are having an impact for good. You are being heard and taken seriously when you agitate to correct injustices, whether it be speaking out about unsustainable working cultures, sexual harassment or bullying within the profession, unfair laws or systemic failings affecting our society's most vulnerable. I urge you to continue to speak up for these things. They do matter. You are the future of the profession and will steer the direction it will take. As a lawyer, you will also need to make difficult ethical decisions at times. With regard to our personal characteristics, lawyers have been the butt of jokes for centuries. Some would say there are, of course, only a few lawyer jokes. The rest are true stories. But jokes aside, you must use the tools you have developed to think critically and not compromise on your fundamental duties to the court and the administration of justice and other ethical duties you must uphold. Pardon me. Now that you are lawyers, you can get paid to argue instead of just arguing for free. Of course, there is a lot more to it than that. You're an advisor, a problem solver, a mediator, and an advocate for the marginalised. As you go about your day-to-day work, remember that you're not merely dealing with law in a vacuum as a series of abstract concepts, but law as it applies to people's lives. For this reason, you must strive to deliver legal services competently and fearlessly, with courtesy and integrity. Justice Gageler, before he was a High Court judge, once said, "You must be prepared to give the same answer to the same questions for the same reason, no matter who asks the question or for what purpose or in what context the asking may occur." That is foundational to the rule of law. For those of you who will practice law, the way you communicate information to others will have profound consequences for access to justice. For a non-lawyer, law is often incomprehensible. One of your roles as a lawyer will be to make law accessible to others, sometimes by deciphering legal complexities, other times by deciphering poor legal drafting, and sometimes both. One thing you will regrettably strike throughout your career is legislation which seems carefully crafted with the object of ensuring that no one can understand it. Your task is not just to understand it, but to explain it clearly to those whose rights and interests are affected by it. As lawyers, we must not keep the law locked up as something knowable only to us. A client reading your advice should be empowered to understand your meaning, not mystified and confused. So be clear and concise in your writing and your speaking. Plain English is powerful. Consider, do I really need to say aforementioned or herewith? Must I sprinkle in that Latin phrase? Should I really use double negatives, tautologies and wordy clauses that take up a whole page? I would suggest that the answer to these questions is almost invariably no. The best advocates make their points simply and succinctly. Now, some of the most experienced lawyers and judges could use that reminder from time to time, but don't pick up their bad habits or model yourself on them. I also want to speak about failure. I'd not be surprised if there are quite a few overachievers and perfectionists watching this live stream today. Even so, at various points of your career, you will make mistakes, some minor, some more serious. When you do make mistakes, your commitment to honesty, integrity, and the administration of justice means that you must take responsibility, correct what you can, and learn from those errors. You must fail at times in order to grow. What is important is that you try not to make the same mistake twice. I myself have made many mistakes over the years, too many to remember, although my colleagues sometimes take delight in reminding me of them. And even as Chief Justice, my decisions have on occasions been successfully appealed to the High Court. When that happens, I simply grit my teeth and remind myself it's not a legal fiction that the High Court is invariably correct. But occasionally, even dissenting judgments or judgments ruled to have been wrong at the time have been made the law. Finally, I want to emphasise that your mental health is extremely important. This may sound unexpected at this type of ceremony, but the law is not everything. There may be times when you feel overwhelmed, burnt out or distressed. If you do, you should not be afraid to seek professional help or take a step back when you need to. Also remember that the law is a collegial profession, and in times of difficulty, the support of your peers will prove invaluable. I found that out throughout my legal career. Although you might find it hard to believe, I was admitted quite a long time ago. I lost my first case, and I lost many more after that. But throughout my 35 years in practice, I could always count on the other barristers in my chambers to share my disappointment at the unfairness of the verdict, the slight tactics of opposing counsel, and most often I regret to say, the obtuseness of the judge or judges before whom I was appearing. I hasten to add that I don't include either of my fellow judges on the bench in that comment. Now, on behalf of all the judges of the Supreme Court, and particularly those sitting with me today, can I once again congratulate you on your admission and welcome you to the legal profession. The Court will now adjourn.